everybody, and thank you for watching Vintage Newscast. You know, I said to myself, since I've touched a little bit on music streaming services on a couple of my earlier posts, at first I really wasn't going to do a video on it. However, a couple of weeks ago, I was visiting one of my favorite music stores to get my B movies and stuff. Much to my surprise, the store shrunk tremendously. I mean, this store here in New York City was so big that it literally took almost the entire sidewalk from beginning to end. They had floors and floors of different stuff, but the ones that I was particularly interested in is their DVDs. They had floors of DVDs and musics, and for good, decent prices. Now they've been reduced to just one corner of a block, and needless to say, their movie selection was so small in this one little corner. I was so disappointed. It wasn't even worth looking through the DVDs. It was just, I couldn't believe it. And I said to myself, this has got to be because of one or two reasons. Either it's due to the economy, or maybe it's possible that more people are buying their entertainment digitally, online, or actually it's probably both. So, staying on the topic of vintage classics, I think this can be a huge issue for many classic lovers, just for the simple fact that a good majority of classic lovers who are my age and older still are not technologically aware or savvy yet. And by the way, that statement wasn't meant to put any of my viewers down or look down on people who don't have a computer. However, at the same time, there are many classic gems out there floating around in the cybersphere, just waiting for us to grab it. And unfortunately, a lot of us are missing these opportunities because we are just, a lot of us are just too scared to, frankly, do anything new on our computers. Anyway, many digital movie sites such as Vudu, which is one of my favorites, have added an impressive catalog of oldies to their library. Even Netflix, which I'm also a member of. Netflix saves me so much money, a ton of money, guys. Oh my goodness, I feel sorry for anybody who's not on Netflix. I can't tell you how many times I said to myself, boy, I'm sure glad I didn't spend any money to, for that crap, or this movie was absolutely bull, and having to spend $22 on this DVD. I would like to stress to my audience, it is worth seeking digital alternatives to add to your vintage collections, because it appears that pretty soon, in the next, I'd say 10 to 20 years, all of our entertainment will come from downloading online, pretty much. What's the deal with music streaming services such as Spotify, GrooveShark, Rdio, Rhapsody, Google Play, etc., etc., etc.? I can't discuss all of them just because the sheer amount of music streaming services that are out there is just too vast. It's too much to talk about all of them. So I think that it would probably most be easier to just explain why I chose Spotify over many of the other services. Please keep in mind that this is just my own opinion. Everybody else has their own favorites. I don't work for Spotify or anything. Trust me. Also keep in mind that I primarily listen to my classics via my Android phone. So, okay. From a technological standpoint, one of my main reasons why I love Rhapsody so much, and it's they don't really talk about that much, is Rhapsody has unlimited downloads, whereas like Spotify only limits you to about 33,000 songs, I think. Now, I know you must be saying, well, damn, 33,000 songs, that's a lot. However, musically speaking, somebody like me, my moods can change from moment to moment while I'm listening to music, and as storage on phone technology increases, you'll want to be able to download more so that you can listen to whatever you want, offlines to accommodate, whatever, mood you're in. Second, streaming services isn't always perfect, especially while you're walking or doing exercise. I find that it's always much better to download your music beforehand, before you travel, get on a train or walk or whatever. The music on Rhapsody is pretty much really organized, be it the Android app, the web, their desktop application. Services like GrooveShark, most of their music is user uploaded, so the album indexes are always off. They don't have the same names, and you never know what quality you're gonna get. Sometimes you can't find a full album. Most of the times you can't find a full album. It's almost like using the old Napster in a way. I love the fact that Rhapsody's music is truly global. Not only can you find both very new music, the latest music, and the very rare stuff, the rare music. You could also find music from Cuba, Spain, Africa, the West Indies, all over. And then they have more subcategories or subgenres within those genres as well. I love the fact that the desktop application is very reminiscent of iTunes. It did not take me long to figure out how it works and how to use it. I love the fact that my albums and playlists are separate. With Spotify, it's not like that. Your albums are also your playlists. The biggest technical plus for me choosing Rhapsody also is that I have the ability to point my downloads to my SD card, which is a huge plus. Unfortunately, there aren't that many streaming services that allow you to do that, unfortunately. Recently, last week, I tried out Google's Play streaming services. It really sucked. At first, I really thought this was my solution to being able to play both my personal music and my subscriptions with one application, which I've been dying for Rhapsody to give us that ability. But I was wrong. Personally, you know, that $7.99 special that they're offering is not worth it. And I'll tell you why. First off, I can't point the downloads to my SD card. That's the big turn off for me. And although you can upload music up to 2,000 songs, I think, on their server, your ID3 tags have to be filled out properly. Otherwise, your albums would be scattered all over the place, with no type of organization. There's no separate view between your personal music that you uploaded and the prescription music. That really bothered me. The album section has no option to view as a list, so it takes you longer to sift through your albums. Let's say if you're not sure you want to listen to, and you have to look at big icon graphics, so that was pretty annoying to me. The downloads took forever. Now please know I do understand that Google Play is supposed to offer music at 320 bit rate, but it took almost 30 minutes to download 25 songs from my Wi-Fi. That's way unacceptable. However, with my Rhapsody, it took about 3 to 5 minutes with 192 bit rate. The so-called unlimited skips radio, that's bull too. It isn't really radio. They just designed their playlists differently to get around the legal skip limit that the record companies impose on the streaming services. The Google Play's radio is really like iTunes Genius. It's not really radio. It starts off with 25 songs, and then it adds an additional 25 once it gets to the last song. Also, the radio selection isn't always as accurate in terms of genre or in relation to the song you chose to put in a radio. Now, the bottom line, I haven't found anything that really can replace Rhapsody right now, in my opinion. I'll just have to live with having to use another application to listen to my personal music. To all of my visitors who are new to streaming music, a word of advice: don't try to base your decision on what streaming services you're going to use based solely on how much music that service has, cause trust me, a lot of them really, really suck. That shouldn't be your only reason as to why you think something is good, a service is good or not, because they really are not always good. Unfortunately, although I have to be honest, most of Rhapsody's customer service doesn't have a clue what they're talking about half the time, their phone customer service. But the product itself is pretty sturdy. It's pretty solid. I can honestly say I really haven't had that much of a major problem with Rhapsody. I mean, it wasn't nothing that I couldn't work around or just tweak my phone a little bit for. Just try the services, before you start investing a lot of time creating playlists. I think that's also very important. And don't listen to a lot of these bloggers that try to compare Pandora with Rhapsody. They are totally two different animals. and services. Some people, they don't want to pay for anything. I mean, that's cool. You know, that's that's what you want. But for those who don't want to pay anything, stick to Pandora or iHeartRadio. For those of us real music lovers who are power users and prefer music on demand, however and whenever, then I suggest trying Rhapsody first. Actually, like I said in the beginning, the vast amount of emerging streaming services that are coming up is just unbelievable. It'll make your head spin. But know that they can potentially save you a ton of money. That's the most important thing, regardless of which service you use. Pretty soon they're all gonna pretty much offer the same thing, with the exception of maybe certain varieties of music which should be like that, because that may entice good competition. It's all about your personal preference. I just prefer Rhapsody more, not just because of what I mentioned earlier, but for now, they are not dependent on social media to help us find music. I really like that. I'm really tired of all the Facebook and Twitter integration that seems to be happening now. Aren't you? Well, think I talked enough about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this opened your eyes to what's going on over the internet, and I think this can really help us, classic lovers, a lot, because things, rare things is becoming really, really, really hard. I really missed going into the store and looking at an album cover, looking at a DVD cover, and saying, looking at the art, the design, especially old movies, bargain basement movies. You see some of these B movies and you're like, oh my god, look at the cover. You either, laugh because it looked funny, or you just like in disgust, because you just never know what you're going to see with these the art in these B movies. And and also turning the DVD in the back and reading the descriptions and seeing the actors, and I don't know, it's just a different experience when you get these things in a store. It's really while technology is a beautiful thing, I also miss the old days when I used to buy a lot of my oldies in the store and meeting other people who like the same things, and you kind of chat about the movies that you like, and that kind of doesn't exist when you're online. So, but anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope the video helped you out, and see you next time. Bye.